basically, the reason why I'm here is because we all have ideas. We all have desires in us and what we want to change and a desire to make a change. And with all the amazing talks that we've heard so far, we've heard of amazing things that people are doing in this world to make a change. And now I'm going to try to help you understand how you can make a change. So first, for the past 6 days, me and my team, we've been walking, well, 3 of us, we walked from Maastricht to Luxembourg City in 6 days, which is a little bit over 170 kilometers. And we did it to raise money and raise awareness for human trafficking. There are about 27 million people who are essentially slaves, whether they're sex slaves or they're labor slaves in the world. And so the first idea that we need to understand is the idea of cycles. That when I'm going to introduce myself to you, I will tell you where I went to school. I'll tell you my name. Hey, I'm Matt. I go to United World College, Maastricht. Next year, I'm going to University of Oklahoma. I'm going to major in teaching Spanish, and I want to be an English teacher. And so many times we get stuck, okay, this is the cycle of who I am, this is my story. But if you really want to make a change, if we really want to make a change, we have to understand other people's stories, or the terrible stories. The stories of sexual abuse, the stories of alcoholic fathers who abuse people, the stories of war, of big companies taking advantage of people and causing so much death. We have to understand these stories and almost feel them as if they're our own story in order for us to make a change. Otherwise, it'll be the same cycle. And one thing we have to realize is the idea of time in this. Now, I love how Martin Luther King Jr. puts this when he's talking about time. And he says, a lot of people are lost in this myth, and it is the myth of time. People say, you know what? Time will make things better. With time, all of the problems in the world will be solved. With time, my marriage will be solved. With time, everything will work its way out. And Martin Luther King Jr. says, no, time is neutral. And the thing is now we cannot wait because the people who are doing the trafficking, the people who are causing the war, the people who are exploiting people and resources are managing their time and making more from their time than the people who are doing good. And that is a problem. And that is why the cycle needs to be broken. Now, the idea of how do you change something is crucial to this. There's the idea of not only the cycle of our lives and just how we say, okay, I go to school, I go to university, and then I go get a job. There's also a cycle of violence. That one violent act or one conflict will lead to another and spur another on. So, for example, a kid may be abused younger, and then he might take his anger out on somebody else, and then the cycle keeps on building. You can see it in marriages, with divorces. You can see it with trafficking victims, with wars. And the idea of this power is power dominating over other people. That you will do it my way. That in almost an idea that I'm a superior being and my power over you is going to change things. But that's when we keep on seeing these cycles of war and of trafficking and of death. But the idea of this underhand power is the idea explained by Greg Boyd in one of his books. And he really explains this ancient tradition to us. And it's really not a tradition. We don't do it, but it's such an old idea. And it's an idea that Jesus of Nazareth had. And it was that not to exert power over other people, but under other people. And that would be the change. So the change isn't that I'm saying you do this, but the change is I'm serving and I'm loving my enemy. And the people who need it, I'm going to feel it as if it's my own pain. And then it's power under people. So I can take what they're doing against me And an example of this is racism. So if you want to, in the same way, if you want to overcome racism, you don't just say, okay, we're going to punish every single person. Okay, if I see you in the school saying something racist, I'm not going to go and punch you. I'm not going to go and just, ignore you or something. But this idea is that you will still care for them, that you will still love them, that you will still talk to them, that you'll still accept them, that you'll serve them, that you'll buy them food, and show them that there's something greater, this power under people. And you can see this within the other ideas in this world, that we're developing people. We're not just giving them things. We're not just saying this is wrong, this is right, but we're developing them to develop each other as a community. When you understand time is neutral, and when we begin to understand that the way that we need to change things is this power under people, then comes peacemaking. And in our trip, we decided that, yes, we want to make peace. These people who have been trafficked, who are now in homes in different countries, such as Bulgaria and Greece, that they need peace. And that there may be 27 million people who are treated as modern-day slaves, but there are 7 billion people in the world who have the power to change that. And so the idea is that peacemaking is not something passive. It's literally, you must go and make something as if you're making a car, or as if you're making a sandwich, or you're making a house, but you don't just sit there and watch it happen. But it's the same way with peace. You have to understand and know what you want, and you have to go make it. And so with our walk, it wasn't just that I'm special, that our team is special, because we're not. Just look at me. Look at how I'm dressed for this talk. We're not anybody special. Earlier we talked about who has ideas. You're not alone. Everybody has ideas. But the idea is that we need to break some of the cycle that we're used to and go and make a change. And so as we go on, the walk was really just a first step. Very many steps, actually. However, it was a first step for me because I didn't know about organizing donations through social media. I had just been interested and really felt it, a passion and desire in me to go and make a campaign for these victims of trafficking. And if maybe our whole team and me, and if we had more experience, and it would have done better. But the idea is you can't start out perfectly. You can't start out on a massive scale. We did what we could, and what we did was good. It was a good step instead of saying, okay, let's stick to the status quo. Let's stick to how things are, or, okay, we're in school, we're in this huge cycle. No, let's get out of this and see what we can do. And so in the very same way, I didn't just have to practice this idea of time and this idea of power under people just on the internet, but within my own team. Because 6 days walking with each other, I got pretty irritated with people. But the idea is that I still had to care about them. And I still, even this cycle of, okay, let's say I irritate them, they keep it inside, and eventually it comes back out at me. This is that conflict cycle. But again, you have to break that cycle. And so that can be something like forgiveness, saying, I'm sorry. It can be as simple as that. You have to start somewhere. We have to start somewhere. And breaking this cycle at such a small personal level is also the same way that we break a cycle in the level of war victims, in the level of trafficking victims, in the level of the world. And so, the main thing is it is your time. Don't let people think less of you, or don't let people think less of us because of our experience or because of our age, but it is our time. We are the 7 billion people who have the opportunity to change the world. Thank you very much.